Hello viewers, welcome to India Today. This is Maruti Acharya.
And I am Sanjay Ponnappa.
And we just completed watching a latest Kannada film, Bandook. So the movie is at your nearest theatres.
Yes.
Please do go watch it. Before getting into further details, Sanjay, your one line about the film. How was it?
The first half of the film was absolutely engaging. It was crisp, it was tight. But the second half, somehow it felt like it was overloaded. And it kind of diluted the whole intensity it built in the first half, is what I'd like to say.
My thought after watching the film is good food, good potential. A dish which has a lot of potential but kind of got ruined because of putting lot of things into it. And by the end, it feels like nothing, it's not defined. It feels like so many things all scattered.
So the film is directed by debutant Mahesh Ravikumar. The film stars Partha, GopalKrishna Deshpande, who you might have seen in Toby, and a lot of other films in Kannada in recent times. He's growing up to be that, the actor in Kannada cinema. He is one of those people. And again, while I'm giving the details itself, his performance in the film was also really good. The film also stars several other character actors. The music is by Prasanna Kumar, who's done a really good job in my opinion. All the people who have already watched So From So, if you are willing to watch another Kannada film, Bandook is waiting for you.
Yeah, now getting to the things that really worked for me in the film. Ambition. I would genuinely tell the ambition because on paper the story is very intense, gripping, has lot of metaphors, has lot of layering, has lot of intense points that they wanted to discuss with the story. So it is a very layered story, and the way within such less budget and very small world that they tried to build in, they have done a phenomenal job in having this ambition and trying to bring it onto big screen. So that it takes a lot to have this kind of big vision and trying to bring that on big screen. In that sense, I genuinely appreciate the team and their ambition for it.
I really appreciate the director of the film because he, with this film, irrespective of its flaws, showed a lot of potential.
Agreed.
With the way he crafted his story and the twists and turns he added, most of which, to be honest, that I didn't really catch, which I really love about thriller films. So, all of those things and the way he made sure to tie up all the loose ends, it just gives me a lot of promise as a director, up and coming director, who takes what they're writing, the paperwork, really seriously before it gets into the glitz, glamour and production.
And technically also the movie is really sound, irrespective of the budgets that went into the film. The cinematography, music, the world building, the properties, it all fits the world well, and it gives you a very immersive feeling as if you are part of the world. You're spectating what is happening. You're going through the journey. So technical departments really complemented the whole experience of how you are in that journey.
Special shout outs would go for the music director for me. Although there were some reminders of sorts, the music was absolutely brilliant throughout the film. Cinematography as well. Cinematography too was quite colorful.
Yeah.
It brought out the kind of shades portraying on the film, portraying on the screen, and it also the emotions to an extent because grit was matched with the grit. There was a lot of intensity where it was needed. The frames were tight when it was needed, were wide when the beauty needs to be established.
Exactly.
So that these things determines that the cinematographer is also really in cahoots with the director and is working well.
Yeah, now talking about the things that didn't work for me. First things first, the inspirations were evident. I have this problem with a lot of big directors also. Again, you can take inspiration. One good example that I can give is Sandeep Reddy Vanga. I really like his films. But one thing that I keep complaining is about how his inspirations are very evident. It feels like a very neatly drawn inspiration from something else. So some amount of yourness is something that should be required, or don't make it, you take the concept and you make it your way is how I would put it. The inspirations, especially in the pre-climax, there's this one portion, the Prashant Neel influence is clearly visible, and the whole treatment and lot of the way the screenplay is has been dealt has a lot of Rakshit Shetty, Avanish Srimanarayana, and Uladavaru Kandante was written in a lot of places. It was evident that, maybe this is from there, maybe this is from there. So that kind of feeling is something that kind of took my experience a little down. I wish that didn't happen.
One major drawback for me in the film were the dialogues written. there were really good dialogues, but it is just throughout the film. When people are actually speaking, it kind of made me feel really good because most of the film were all about those punch dialogues or those poetic dialogues, and it kind of didn't match the world that they were creating, which was this gritty, raw, neat, rooted story.
Correct.
And all of a sudden, it's just everybody speaking in poetic language. It kind of felt a little mismatched.
Yeah, I agree with what you say, Sanjay, because again, I'll give you an example also. In cinema, there is two kind of dialogue delivery. One is like what Malayalam films usually follow. Every character is talking. There's a lot of chatter happening. It's like the too real ground to earth portrayal is one kind of it. And second thing is everything is like a very 3-word, 4-word picture perfect, very poetic kind of dialogues. With this film, what happened is that again, take any of Prashant Neel movies, KGF, Salar. They have very less dialogues.
And they're all absolutely blocked.
Exactly.
Like what to say, where to say, how to say, where to look while you're saying, all of that.
But in this film, it feels like every dialogue was written so that it will land somewhere. There are no conversation between characters. Everything feels very staged, very written so that it will give a certain kind of impact. So it feels very calculated. Some places it really works, but some places where it feels a little overdone, I wish they could have avoided that as well.
Yeah, and also, see, when these dialogues, the frames also need to match that. The screens, the presence, the acting, the setting, whatever is happening in the background, the moment the dialogue comes, all of this matters when that dialogue is landed. When none of that is happening, a brilliant example is all the films, the rooted films of all the Shetties that come.
Correct.
There are dialogues in it, but the moment is built to it. But most of it is conversations.
Yeah.
Right? It makes you feel more connected with the story and whatever is happening there. Here, because of these dialogues, it felt like there was this clear disconnect between what we were seeing on the screen and what the film actually wanted to be, which is the integration of the mass element, which is the next thing that I didn't really appreciate in the film because it felt really forced. The story wasn't helping it. What was happening wasn't helping it. It just wasn't necessary, in my opinion.
They wanted to involve too many elements, and I see how it would look beautiful on paper, but when it translates onto big screen, especially in the second half, it turns out to be a very tiring experience by the time you reach the climax. What happens is that you feel like you have watched like 5-6 climaxes already before you reach the actual climax. In this movie, that is how it happens. There's a closure. Like the scene was staged and presented in a way, something is being closed. And suddenly something opens. You're not understanding why is this happening. So in that journey of going through those 5-6 closures, like, you're like kind of lost in the journey. I wish if everything comes together and closes in the end, then that is more cohesive and it puts together everything very strong. I think that is one thing, especially in the second half, that kind of didn't work for me.
Yeah. Another thing in the second half that didn't work for me, which goes with what he said, is in the second half, especially by the time you're getting to the end of the film, now one might defend it saying that that is the kind of feeling they wanted to give to the audience or all of those, but at the end of the day, it started becoming too confusing and too tiring.
Yeah.
The jumps between various things that is happening, whatever connecting to all the other stories that is happening. Establishment of the actual story that happened. I understand all of it. We understood the story, but it was just in one major chunk through the climax, it just got tiring.
Still, the debut, director, the ambition, the film overall still lands very neatly by the end of it. It is not going to leave a sore impression on you when you're leaving out of the theater. It will manage you to be entertained and stay with the film.
Like I mentioned earlier, if you've already watched So From So and you are looking for something else to watch, if you want to watch something new, something different, something thrilling and intense, and also support an upcoming filmmaker and a really young team who all industries really need at this point, a promising maker is there with a team. If you want to encourage with a bit of patience, please do go and watch this film.
Yes, with that, this is Maruti Acharya.
I am Sanjay Ponnappa.
And you are watching India Today. Yellarigu, thanks.
Namaskara.